Hello, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use your monoprints to create a sculpture, which we'll then take into Photoshop. So firstly, I kind of cut random square shapes out of my prints and start to stick them together. I also score areas to kind of create angles, bits of the paper where it can be folded really crisply to create edges, and I start to kind of create very wonky shapes. I'm not looking for, at this point, kind of cubes and rectangles, which are quite easy to make. I'm looking for very abstract forms, similar to what we were looking at with Frank Gehry's buildings and Thomas Kiesewett's work. Here I'm trying to create a 3D form round this kind of very curved shape. So I cut myself a rectangle and score it so there's 3 sides. And then I trim those sides so that piece of paper then kind of can bend. And as you can see, I shape it round the edge of my curved kidney bean shape. And I use sellotape to kind of hold it into place. So this is a really easy technique to kind of create, instead of just a cube, a more of a round 3D shape. So then I've got lots of stuff going on now and I'm a bit confused of what I'm looking at. So I make sure I keep rotating my sculpture as it develops. And I keep using all the offcuts of what I'm getting from my shapes to try and attach to my sculpture. Here I'm making a simple rectangular tube essentially, as my form has got quite curved at the moment, so I want to kind of add some more angular kind of structural shapes in. So I simply sellotape this tube together, and I thought about the placement of the print on this tube, so it's really beautiful kind of how it shows the lovely monotype on the edges of this cube, well, rectangular cube. So then I play with this and see where I could fit it into my sculpture and which is kind of its best side print-wise, and how does that go in relation to the other prints that are sitting next door to it. I don't know if I'm entirely happy with what I've created at the moment, so I'm going to really rethink it, and I'm really going to turn it over, really just rotate it, not worrying about it falling apart, and try and find a better side, because at the moment it just looks like a lump of shapes, and I've kind of got to, wrestle with it for a little to try and make something of it. So this happened, so I made a really thin kind of rectangular tube to kind of really change the kind of shape of where the sculpture was going and change the weight of the sculpture. So this little tube is now holding up, which looks like this great weight at the top, but it's not, obviously, because it's made out of paper. So think about that, playing with the balance and kind of the weight of what your sculpture is suggesting. When you're getting to this point in your sculpture, you need to think about it compositionally all the way around, 360. A sculpture, you want to be able to walk around it, so you've got to look at it from all sides and kind of add little bits and pieces to it to kind of enhance and create better composition and balance and flow. And so again, I've turned it over again and I've thought, is this working? See, at the moment there's kind of a very diagonal composition, so this kind of rectangle takes me through, and then I've played with this other kind of long rectangular shape. But in the end I kind of settled with this, which that image actually looked like very much like a person, but I took great care in taking photographs of it from all sides, and And I was quite happy with this in the end. It's interesting. I don't quite know what I've created. There's like a human element in it. I think it's kind of because that cube and that long tube looks like an arm. But it'll be interesting to play with on Photoshop. And I think it's transformed my monotypes into something different. So we'll use our photographs to take into Photoshop and play around with them in different settings and scales. I hope this video has helped you construct your sculpture.